Hello and welcome to Love Yourself, You Deserve It. Today I'm going to be talking about blaming and your ego, your mind, your craziness, and trusting that everything happens for a reason. I didn't write any notes today because I feel like I'm just going to get whatever is coming through me at the moment. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I write notes and I write it all down, but I don't think everything's fully come out of me yet, so I'm just going to talk away and hopefully everything that needs to get out will get out. Lately I've been kind of in a bit of a funk, and I feel like it's really important for me to express that to you guys who are watching, because a lot of my videos, I guess, happen, or I tend to make them after I come to, like, you know, some sort of grand epiphany or some sort of, realization. And I think I'm just kind of getting out of a funk right now, so I'm not waiting until it's past. I'm gonna be raw and open with you guys and let you know that, this is what I'm going through, and I'm human, and I also have times where things are pretty shitty, and I'm gonna admit that. I'm not gonna sit here and say, everything is full of peaches and roses, because it's not always that way. It can be that way sometimes, but life is more about picking through the peaches. I don't know where I'm getting these peaches from, but whatever. So anyways, I think the past week or maybe 2 weeks I've been, just going through a lot in my mind. My ego has made an appearance, and every day my ego is just feeding me a bunch of crap. And for a while I think I was fighting against it, and I was like, no way, man, I am not listening to these fears, I am not listening to my ego, no way, not even dealing with it. And then I kind of realized along the way that it's not about forcing it out, and it's not about ignoring it, and it's not about getting angry at yourself or getting angry at your ego or getting angry at anything or anybody, because that doesn't solve anything and it doesn't help you feel any better. It really doesn't, because I spent a lot of time and probably a lot of days getting angry at myself and getting angry at the fact that I'm human and I have a mind and I have an ego that likes to tell me things that, are kind of just not nice and nasty sometimes. But you know what? Getting angry at myself did not help me. Well, it has helped me in the long run. But it doesn't give you that short time fix that you think it's going to, because you kind of tell yourself that, if you just get angry, then it doesn't exist anymore. But that's not the case. Things still exist even if you get angry about it. If you get angry at a person and have an argument or something, they still exist. They don't just drop off the planet because you got angry and then you don't have to deal with it anymore. They still exist, and you still exist. So it's better just to try to accept it. Accept is such a huge word. That I realized yesterday. It's really about accepting what's going on in your mind. You don't have to enjoy it every moment. You don't have to love every single thing that comes through your mind. It's not always pleasant, but if you can just allow yourself to sit here, and have time to just let your brain do its thing and have your ego go blah blah blah, that all this angriness and craziness and all these negative thoughts, and just let it happen, and it's all crazy going on in your mind. And if you just sit here and allow that, and you're like, okay brain, keep going, and it's going okay, blah 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 blah, if you allow it, it'll just pass so much faster instead of resisting it. Because what happens is, if your mind is going blah 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 blah, and you start listening to that, and instead of accepting it and being calm about it, if you're getting angry and you're going, blah, 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 it's two things going like this at once. It's two things conflicting, and it just seems to last so much longer when you get angry at your thoughts and you get angry at yourself. So if you're neutral and you're calm and your mind's going like this, it'll eventually slow down and become this. And you'll have time to be at a calm state of relaxation, which is always awesome. And that always does come, so trust that that's going to come after your mind decides to freak out. And that comes with accepting. Accept and trust that it's going to pass. If you're going through something, it's gonna pass. If your mind is freaking out, it will pass. So trust that. Anyways, back to what I've been going through. I think some things have really triggered me. Like, I'm not sure if I talked about this. I don't think I have. But last month, someone I grew up with from the time I was, like 3.5 to like a teenager, passed away in a car accident, and I wasn't that close with him when we grew up because we went to different high schools, and I think that just naturally happens, like you grow apart from people that you grew up with. However, I still am very affected by it. It was a very sudden passing. He was in a car accident, and it just, yeah, and obviously he's very young, and he impacted a lot of people, and I think that's something that really triggered me because obviously I've had a lot of memories come back to me, and it's been good in a lot of ways, and I've been able to learn a lot from him since he's passed, which is awesome because I'm learning things and taking on some of his awesome traits, which is great, and I think a lot of people are. But at the same time, death is a really hard thing to deal with, and everyone deals with it differently, and I think it kind of scared the shit out of me, to be honest with you, because we don't know when we're going to go. So it really gets you thinking about your own life, and, if you were to not be here tomorrow, are you happy with what you did in your life? Are you happy with what you said, with what you did? Are you content with where you are right now? And that's a pretty heavy question. Those are heavy questions. Those are really, really loaded questions. And if you start concentrating on that and thinking about that every day, it becomes a lot. And that's definitely one of the things that I've been dealing with lately, because for the most part, I am proud to say that, I am happy with who I am and with what I've done in my life, and all that. I'm grateful for a lot of things, and every day I make note of what I'm grateful for, because we don't know how much time we have. I think it's really important to be grateful for every little thing that you have every day, which is great, as I was saying, but at the same time, it doesn't make it any easier to deal with, because as much as I am grateful for so many things, for the good and the bad, I'm grateful for the friends I've lost, and the family that I've lost, and the pets that I've lost. I'm still not sure if I'm completely content with everything. If I were to be sick or be on my deathbed, I think there are still some things that I'm not quite content with and I'm not quite happy about. But the thing is, I still have time to do something about it, and I still have time to make a difference, and I still have time right now even to get this out there and just to do what I can while I can. So it's kind of, it's not about sitting here like I was doing for, a couple weeks and just staying cooped up in my house and just doing nothing and fearing that I'm gonna die if I walk outside my house. It's kind of natural to feel that way after you've been impacted by a death, but after a while you gotta just pick yourself up and say, you know what, I can't live my life like this, because this isn't living my life. There's this saying that I'm sure most of you have heard. It's, live like you're dying. And that's what it says. It says live like you're dying, not fear that you're dying. Because living in fear is it's just not living. You just get to a point, I'm sure so many people get to this point after whatever circumstance, and they just kind of get to a standstill in their life, which is where I kind of am right now. And it happens, and I need to forgive myself for that. But you just get to a point where you're just living in fear, and you're just sitting here, and the clock's ticking, and you're just doing nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. And fear has a way of taking over, and again, it's not about hating that fear or getting mad at that fear or getting mad at yourself. It's just about allowing it to run its course, you know. I've had some time to be afraid of everything. I've had some time to fear that I'm getting ill or that I'm going to die or whatever. But that happened, and I'm gonna forgive myself for that. And you know, it's not about getting mad about it. It's about going through that and then coming out of it with something. And I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna come out of this with something pretty spectacular and something pretty great. So hopefully you guys can relate to something in this video. Maybe not because of a death, but maybe you've gotten to some point where you've just kind of stopped living and you've just kind of started, you know, playing it safe. And I think a lot of people do it. Especially in the winter, you know, you just kind of sit around sometimes and you're like, I'm just not gonna do anything because I don't have to. And then it gets to a point where it's like, okay, I need to get myself out of this. So anyways, thank you guys for listening and for accepting me for who I am. I definitely appreciate all of you who participate in the page and who comment, and all of that stuff means a lot to me. I'm very glad that I can be open with you guys and talk to you about what I'm going through, and I'm really glad that I got to let you know that I am human and I have crappy times too, but I'm gonna pull out of this, and it'll make me stronger. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we can continue to love ourselves no matter what. So don't hate your fears, and don't hate yourself, and don't hate your head. Just try to allow it and know that it'll pass, and you're gonna be okay, and you're gonna pull through things. Have a good day, guys. Bye.